Okay, hello, my seniors and special needs crew. Good afternoon. This is time for your music session, and it is time for Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy jingle. If you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together. We can do it. Learning is fun with Mr. C. And learning is fun, everybody. Welcome back again, my seniors and special needs friends. It is time for your music session. And now we are going to get into our personal shout out of the day. So let's have a drum roll, please. Today's personal shout out goes out to Shirley Coelho. Shirley Coelho, this personal shout out is for you. Hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Let's say hi to Shirley Coelho. Let's do some music with Shirley Coelho. Let's get together with Shirley Coelho. Let's go have some fun. And that was for Shirley Coelho. Let's all give her a round of applause, everybody. A round of applause. Hope you enjoyed that. And so if you are interested in a personal shout out, okay, all my Patreon members, please message through the dashboard, message through Patreon, and respond by giving your first and last names or just your first names. And then this way we can do, I can do personal shout outs at the beginning of class, just like I did just now. Okay. And also look to the details below. And anybody else watching, look to the details below about becoming a member through patreon.com/Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy, where you can get all types of benefits through your membership. Okay. Find out more in the details of this video. Now, let's talk about what we're going to have for our lessons today. First of all, for anybody's watching for the first time, we always do hymnals in the beginning of class. Okay, the hymnals are a way for us to get our minds straight, just to always praise God and thank God for everything that he has given us. Okay, so today's hymnal selection is called Great Is Thy Faithfulness. Okay, so if you would go onto another screen of your computer or your tablet or your phone, you can do a Google search of that song called Great Is Thy Faithfulness, and then type in the word lyrics right after that, and then those lyrics should come up right away. Okay, and then afterwards, okay, now for all those who have been watching me on a regular basis, we have been doing piano, C scale and such. But today, this week, I'm on vacation with my family, and we are in El Paso, Texas. Okay, beautiful, sunny, beautiful El Paso, Texas. I love the mountains, love the air, the weather. Okay, it's fantastic over here. So I decided to now, do classes on location. And so today, because I don't have my piano keyboard with me, we're going to go over ukulele basics. So I'm going to be taking out this instrument in a little bit, and we're going to get right into understanding the basics, the parts of the ukulele, as well as just some basic technique. Okay, so that is what's going to happen. I'm going to put this guy down for a little bit, and we're going to do some stretches. So my friends, make sure you're in a good seated position. If you need to sit, or if you are standing, that's even better if you can't stand. But also I remind you that if you're one of those people that needs to sit down after a while, then by all means, just have a seat, okay? Because we can still utilize good posture and technique with our exercises, regardless whether we're sitting or standing, okay? I happen to be standing right now. So everybody, let's make sure we have good posture once again. Backs are straight, shoulders relaxed, and let's get into our stretches. Everybody reach up into the sky as high as you can. Reach, and feel that stretch in the lower back as well as in the shoulders. And everybody pray and bring them down. And now start rotating the shoulders back. Let's roll those shoulders back and feel that nice massage on your shoulder blades. All right, everybody roll them forward. Roll them in the other direction. Okay, great. Now everybody rotate your necks in a circle very slowly, very slow. Nice and easy and controlled. All right, now everybody rotate in the other direction. All right, great. Everybody look all the way up and look all the way down, or look all the way to your right. Look all the way to your left. And shrug and hold your shoulders. Shrug and hold and drop. And everybody shrug and hold your shoulders again. Shrug and hold them and bring them down. And now everybody put your arms in front of you like this and start opening and closing your hands, okay? Now, if you own a ukulele and you're thinking about learning how to play, this exercise right here is definitely ideal, as well as for our piano basics that we have been going over. But just building that, warming up the finger joints and the hands, okay? This is always good for anything that you have to use your hands for, okay? And just overall health. Any type of movement that you can do in every point of your body, every appendage of your body is always good for you, but has to be consistent. You always want to continue to be consistent as you're doing this. Now, everybody, hold and squeeze the fist. Everybody, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold, and shake it out. Everybody, shake it out. All right, everybody, take a deep breath in through your nose and deep breath out. Once again, one more deep breath in and deep breath out. Okay. Here we go. We're ready to go. Now I'm going to bring back my ukulele because it's time to do our hymnal, okay? So again, this song, this hymnal, Great is Thy Faithfulness, okay? Great is Thy Faithfulness is kind of in the title there. Well said, this is such a great reminder how great God is in having faith, and what we ought to do is to have faith in everything that everything that He does and decides, and what is going to do, His plans for His people, all of those things. And this again is a great reminder of that. So look on your lyrics, okay? Let's think on God. Let's get our mind straight. Let's get ready to go, and let's praise Him. Thank Him for everything He is allowing us to do. Okay, this is Great is Thy Faithfulness. Have those lyrics handy and sing along. Here we go. Great is Thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow, no turning with Thee. Thou changest not, Thy compassions, they fail not. Great as Thou hast been, Thou forever wilt be. Great is Thy faithfulness. Great is Thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. Great, all I have needed, Thy hand hath provided. Great is Thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter, springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature and manifold witness to Thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is Thy faithfulness. Great is Thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, Thy hand hath provided. Great is Thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Great is Thy faithfulness. Great is Thy faithfulness. Morning by me. And that was Great Is Thy Faithfulness. Give yourselves a round of applause if you were able to follow along with that. If you weren't, of course, if you had a little trouble along the way, as I always say in every class, just go back to the video, play it again, and have those lyrics handy and repeat practice, okay? The more you do that, the better you get. Okay, so now I'm not going to put my ukulele away because it is time for the core of our lesson, okay? So you may or may not own a ukulele, but you can definitely watch. Let's talk about the basic parts of the ukulele, which is very similar to a lot of string instruments, okay? Now, that is the category, strings, right? Any instrument that you play, okay, that has strings, of course, attached to it is categorized as the string in the strings family of instruments. But not all of them are created equally. So let's take a look at, again, the parts of the ukulele, which you'll find similar to, most, for instance, the guitar, okay? So here we go. First of all, if you notice that right away I'm holding the ukulele by what is referred to as the neck, okay? So everybody say that. This is the neck. Okay, this is the neck of the instrument, and I'm holding it specifically this way. When I'm playing it, of course, I have it cradled with my other hand, my other arm, with my right arm specifically, on the body. This is the body of the instrument, okay? So this big part over here, the body of the instrument is here. This is the neck, okay? But whenever I'm handling it, I grab it by the neck. It's the safest place, more, where no harm can come to the actual instrument. So let's observe, shall we, the neck a little bit closer. Notice that with the neck, there is a flat part right over here, guys, okay? There's a flat part, and this is what's known as the fretboard, okay? So everybody say that, fretboard, okay? And I'm throwing these terms at you guys so that you guys know, what's entailed when it comes to that. Musical terms is the best way to remember every part. We can't all use common sense. We can't use the common sense language, so to speak, when it comes to music, because music, in a way, has its own language, okay? And basically, no matter what country you're from, I'll bring up this point. No matter what country you're from, music can be spoken universally for the most part. Everybody knows everything that I'm saying right now, all these words that I'm using, okay? No matter what country you're from, they know these words, okay? So again, this is the neck. This entails the neck, and part of the neck is the actual fretboard. And why? Because this is where you're going to have fret lines. These lines, I'm going to take a closer look over here. These lines that are going across right here, across the fretboard, those are known as frets or fret lines, okay? You could say it like that. However, this one white line that is going right across the top here, that is known as the nut, okay? Yes, that is, yes, I'm totally serious. That is known as the nut, okay? So this is the nut, while the other lines that go across as we go down the fretboard of the neck, okay, those are known as your fret lines, or your frets for short, okay? Now, on top, this is the headstock, okay? This is the headstock, or sometimes, or the very tippy top here, it wouldn't be known as the crown, okay? Because it kind of resembles a crown. But within the headstock over here, you have these knobs, okay, that you turn. And now, if you were curious as to why these were here, these are called the tuning pegs, okay? So everybody say that, tuning pegs. Okay, with this particular instrument, okay, this ukulele, it has 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 tuning pegs. However, if we were looking at a guitar, you would be seeing 6. Okay, 6 tuning pegs. With each tuning peg, okay, they're attached to the strings of the instrument. And again, the ukulele encompasses 4 strings. All right, and then as we follow the strings down the neck and the fretboard right over here, we get right to the body, okay? What you see now is called the sound hole, okay? This is the sound hole, okay? And this is very important. The sound hole, okay, allows for this block of wood to be hollowed out, because as you can see, there's there is a hole in there, and there's spacing within the ukulele, which you'll also see in a guitar as well. But that's very important that it's hollowed out. It can't be just a solid block, okay? And the reason for that is because sound has to travel. has to be able to travel. So any notes I play, chords I play, okay, when you hear it, okay, you're talking about the sound envelope. It travels at 440 beats per minute, getting right to the ear, going right to the human ear, okay, and that's very fast when you think about it. But it has to be able to travel through the sound envelope, which is in the air. It's got to be able to tread air. If this body was just a solid block of wood and not hollowed out, it would sound probably more like this. Okay, it would sound more like this. Now there is a sound, of course. Okay, the strings are tuned with the help of the tuning pegs. Okay, and tightened so that it stays tight, right? But again, if this was a solid block of wood and you heard this, okay, that's basically, it's muffling the sound. So even though you can hear something, it's still not as resonant as the use of the sound hole. Okay, which again is it's a requirement of air. Everything, it's really interesting how an inanimate object, as well as living beings, okay, as well as living organisms, require air in order to function, right? So for this inanimate object to be able to function at its best, it needs to be able to utilize the air around us, the atmosphere. So that's why this is hollowed out. So who knew music could be scientific, right? Okay, now here we go. As we follow down the body, okay, again, the hollowed out body, we also come across this rectangular piece where the strings are tied and twisted and attached to. This rectangular piece is known as the bridge. Okay, this is the bridge. And why, you might ask. Sometimes you can find some common sense stuff when they're naming things in music. Well, because it sort of resembles a bridge. Okay, when you think about it, if you kind of look at it this way, it sort of resembles a bridge, and that's why they have that. That's why they need to be very careful. Okay, again, I handle the instrument by the neck, okay, because this avoids me really, I mean, sure, I'm touching it right now, but it avoids me ever damaging the instrument in any way. We don't grab it by the strings, okay, that's a big no-no. Well, I'm touching the body for the most part. But here's the thing about that. When we touch the body, and no harm is coming to it right now, but sometimes we could easily lose control. Accidents can happen. Well, accidents can happen even if you're doing this. But this is definitely has a lesser chance because of its stability. Being able to hold it by the neck, creates a more stable way of handling the instrument. It's the less of a chance of an accident happening. That doesn't mean it can't happen, because, hey, we live in an imperfect world, right? But again, the idea is it's always better to handle any string instrument by the neck as opposed to the body. This has more of a capability of something possibly happening, okay, as opposed to the neck. Notice I'm also grabbing it by the left hand, okay? So now we're actually delving into technique, okay? So I'm grabbing it by the left hand, okay? Most string instruments, they are, guitars, ukuleles, violins, okay, violas, okay, cellos, upright bass, okay, any string instrument that is kind of made this way, all right, or similar. We use the left hand to do what's known as the fretting, okay? Going back to the fretboard and the fret lines. Obviously, the action of having your left hand, your fingers, touching all the strings, okay, and creating music, okay, that is called fretting, okay? So now we turn the fret into a verb there, okay? But here we go. So as I hold with my left hand, okay, take a look at this, and you can sort of try. Like, I know not everybody who's watching right now may not have the instrument, but you can kind of pretend, okay? Or you can even grab. Here's what's awesome. You can even grab a stick, a broom, okay? If you happen to have a broom around or something like that, you can kind of grab that and sort of simulate the technique, okay? So I want to give you guys a chance to be able to do that for a second, okay? And then as soon as you're settled in, we'll get started in a little bit. I'm trying to figure out if I've missed anything as far as we basically went over the parts. Although I'd like to mention, okay, most of you might be settling in right now. I would definitely like to mention something about the tuning pegs. All right. So kind of going back to that, the tuning pegs require tuning. It's what we use to tune the strings. Okay. With the ukulele itself, they have specific letter names for the strings. So coming over here, if we look very closely, the top string over here, holding it by the left hand, okay, the top string is the G string. This is the G string. Then when we go to the second string from here, that is known as the C string. So we have the G string, C string. Then the third string down is the E string. And the last one is the A string. All right. Every ukulele has this. So once again, or I should say actually to be more specific, every soprano ukulele. Now, what does that mean exactly? The soprano ukulele is the smallest ukulele, which means it's the highest pitch. Did you know that there are actually bass ukuleles out there, okay, that can be purchased? They've actually been made, but they're slightly bigger and they have a lower sound, okay? Hence the soprano meaning highest sound, and the bass ukulele meaning the lowest sound. Okay, but back to over here. So again, the strings are tuned to G, the G note, the C note, E note, and A note. G, C, E, and A. All right. Now, what I have in my hand over here, this is a pick. Okay, they use it for guitars as well. It's sort of diamond shaped. Okay, except for the round side over here. But then you have the point right over here. This is the part. This point right here, if we take a good look, this point is the part where we're going to have to do a lot of the strumming, okay? It picks the strings. Okay, so if you take a look at that here, I hold it in my right hand, and when I skate that pointy part of the pick against the strings over here in the body, it creates that sound. Now, that doesn't mean we couldn't use our own fingers as well. So to do the very same thing, using our fingernails to do that. And I sort of cup my right hand when it comes to that. Remember, again, cradling the body over here, cradling the body of the instrument with your right arm, or right forearm, I should say, while the left hand holds it. Okay, but if I'm just strumming the regular strings, okay, notice that I'm strumming the same notes, but it has a different intonation when it comes to that. So this is the way it sounds when you just utilize your fingers, okay? And you guys can do that. Notice I'm also using my wrist, okay, my right arm. So pick up your pretend ukuleles right now and just strum. Ready, everybody? On the count of three, give me 3 strums with your fingers. Ready? 1, 2, and go. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, and look what I did just now. As soon as I wanted to stop the resonation of those strings, okay, that's another word there, resonation. Okay, as soon as I wanted to stop it, I kind of put my hand over the strings a little bit like this, just to stop it from vibrating and sounding. Now, if I wanted to hold out those notes, it'll keep going, okay, without me, and then eventually it'll fade away, okay? It won't just keep going forever and ever, of course. It'll just, again, fade away. But if I wanted to stop it abruptly, then I just have to put my hand on top of it. So again, you heard the difference in intonation when you're just using your fingers, and then, of course, now I'm going to use my pick, okay? And same idea, I'm using my wrist to do the motion there. It sounds much different. The intonation is a little bit more poignant, a little stronger when it comes to that. Now, when in terms of fretting over here on the left hand, I'm going to show you kind of in the back of the neck. I tend to either go from my thumb touching the back of the neck with my thumb there, okay, or sometimes kind of going above it, depending on what chords I'm playing, right? But, the idea is not to understand which chords to play, but to look at, again, the technique. Take a look at my fingernails. So these are my fingernails. I use the very tips, and when I say the very tips, I don't mean the bottom side of my tips, but the very tips right before the nail, okay? And the very reason you do that is because there are we don't want to just press anything, okay? And press multiple, let me say this. even if we're using multiple strings at once, so for instance, I'm going to play the G chord. So if you take a good look over here, I have three of my fingers, my index here, my middle finger over here, and my ring finger right in between, okay? And I'm using all three of these, okay? But that also means that I'm not using the other parts of my fingers to touch the other neighboring strings that I don't need in order to play this G chord, okay? And notice also how I'm also using the very tips of my fingers to press down. I'm pressing down on the specific strings so that the strings touch the fretboard. My wrist on my left hand has to remain pointed down or outward, I should say, as opposed to inward. We want this, okay, in order to gain some kind of leverage on the string so they can press down and press right onto the fretboard. See, the more you do that, the more specific you'll be able to hear and resonate and play that G major, well, in this case, this G major chord, or any chord for that matter. And so now that is a G chord, which FYI is GBD, okay, would be being played at the same time. However, if I didn't pay attention to technique, okay, in particular, well, what I would do is, I would probably point the wrist in the opposite direction, okay? If I was just kind of utilizing the other parts of my fingers there instead of the tips, then, but even though I have all my fingering correct, but I wasn't paying attention to technique, this is exactly what it would sound like, okay? Very kind of bland, not quite the chord, okay? Why? Because again, some of my fingers are touching the other neighboring strings. Okay, in order to be specific on the chord, anything that you're playing, you have to really use your tips, gain leverage over those strings, make sure that they are pressing against the fretboard by utilizing your wrist pointing outward. And there's a difference between this, which is the actual chord, and this. Yeah, not so good. Okay, so that is, I'm giving you guys a glimpse as to what practice looks like, okay? Now, I'd like to, at some point, definitely start getting into more specifics on ukulele, because right now, this is kind of a spur of the moment. Most of you who are watching right now don't actually have the instrument, but later on, if you want to purchase a ukulele of your own, okay, it's not very hard. You can always find online purchase. You can do online purchases and order your own ukulele. This particular model happens to be a Mitchell. Okay, this is what I bought for myself. Model number MU40, okay? And this has served me well over the years. I've had this, had great ratings as far as, one of the kinds of reviews that was said about this particular instrument is that it's a good starter, but at the same time, a lot of professionals also use this particular model ukulele for live performances, okay? So for the money, this was about $30 on sale. I think it's $40 now, regular price. But I got it on sale and I was able to get this, and I've been happy with it for the past few years now. This has been my ukulele, my pal here, and so I can play it. And when I was a beginner, it served me well, and now that I play it a lot of times and most of the time, this is it's been such a wonderful instrument. So, and I haven't had any problems with it. Okay, so those are one of those things that you want to look for, and there are many different types of ukuleles. Some good ones, maybe not so good ones, but always, as just as a rule of thumb, check out the reviews. Always make sure that you are getting a lot for your money. Okay, and hey, sometimes you can pay for a very expensive ukulele. Sometimes the price doesn't always equal good quality. Okay, sometimes that can happen. So you want to be very careful. Again, check out reviews, what people say regarding those instruments, and then make an informed decision. Okay, and this way you will be happy with your instrument, last a long time, and that's definitely what you want. So that is the ukulele, everybody. We'll definitely get into learning some of the basic chords, okay? And actually, let me just check the time over here. Okay, so I definitely want to show you real quickly, okay, just a strumming pattern, okay? You guys can do this with me. So as I said before, I'm going to do a C chord, which is just one string over here. But you guys, again, pretend, okay? You're going to strum. You're going to just kind of simulate a strumming, okay, while I actually show you. When you utilize those wrists, okay, we're going to do a strum pattern where we go down 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go 4 times upward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go downward twice, 1, 2, and then upward twice, 1, 2. Okay, has everybody got that? So it's, again, let's actually do it together. This is without me strumming. Here we go. 1, 2. Here's the count. Ready, and strum, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now up 4. Up, 2, 3, 4. Now down 2, and up 2, up 2. Okay, and then let's stop right there. Okay, now I'm going to actually play it. Okay, I'm going to actually play it, and you guys are going to follow me. Okay, if you happen to have your ukulele, then you do this. Okay, you might know the C chord. Okay, this is the C chord. It actually, just FYI, happens to be on your A string, which is your bottom string. Ring finger presses down on the first. Here's the first, second, third fret, between second and third fret, okay? And you're gonna press that down with your ring finger the tip of your ring finger, all right? And here we go on my count. C chord, 1, 2, strum pattern, and down 4. Let's go. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 4. Up, 2, 3, 4, and down 2. Down 2, and up 2, up 2, and everybody stop right there. Okay, so why this strum? Why such a very standard strum pattern? What does that strum pattern, first of all, encourages the march tempo. Okay, when you play something that at that kind of tempo, right? Down 2, 3, 4. Notice how I'm just kind of marching, right? So it has that march feel. Okay. Besides that, it really works that wrist action. Okay, and it's a very basic drill, so that you can utilize in every chord that you play. Okay, and the more on beat you are with that march tempo as you go and learn different chords. So let's say I go do my G string, my G chord right here, G major chord, down 2, 3, 4, then up 2, 3, 4, then down 2, and up 2. Okay, and then I would, maybe go to my F major chord, do the same thing, down 2, 3, 4, and up 2, 3, 4, and down 2, and up 2. Okay, now when you utilize this with every different chord, then what you want to get into when it comes to this drill is being able to go from one chord to the other more seamlessly. So watch how I do that. I'm going to start back in that C major chord that I started with. I'll go from there to the G and then to the F. All right, and we'll stop there. So watch this. Everybody follow me. Again, pretend. All right, we'll start with that C major chord. Down 4, up 4, down 2, up 2. Our strum pattern. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play it. And down 2, 3, 4, and up 2, 3, 4, and down 2, and up 2. Now watch the transition. Down 2, 3, 4, and up 2, 3, 4, and down 2, and up 2. Now here's the change. Down 2, 3, 4, and up 2, 3, 4, and down 2, and up 2, and off, everyone. Okay, so do you see what I did there? So I took that very strum pattern, okay, and that's how I learned. As a regiment, I would learn how each chord goes, and then do it as a pattern. Going from C to G major to F major, and sometimes even going right back to C as part of the whole sequence, okay? When you do that, you become, the more you do that in repetition, you become more stronger and you develop more dexterity in your left fingers, okay? Because that's definitely what you're going to need, okay? Plus the coordination allows for very great fine motor agility from one chord to the other. Basically, what we kind of cover when we're doing piano, and that's the similarity there. We did the C scale for those who have been watching before. We did the C scale going up and down, right, in both hands. So this also does the same thing, except in a different way, all right? So again, you become stronger in that left hand and those fingers, okay, developing that agility from one chord to the other, definitely encouraging and strengthening the grip, okay? While in the right hand, you're doing a different task there. You're strumming and you're thinking about rhythm and timing, okay? So so what am I saying? Basically, in this instrument, in any string instrument, okay, there's a lot of cognitive skills happening, because the more you engage your mind, your brain, in everything that you're doing, especially when it comes to multitasking, okay, the better you will be at thinking things through, and that's cognition, guys, okay? So that is sort of the basics when it comes to this particular instrument, or in terms of other string instruments. Hey guys, you can put your sticks down, okay, if that's what or your instruments down, and everybody give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause, everybody. A great job, great work today. All right, so first of all, I want to give some general shout outs definitely to my Patreon members. Thank you very much for continuing to support Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. If you're a Patreon member, very soon you'll be seeing a checklist worksheet, okay, regarding what we talked about when it comes to this particular lesson. So look on your dashboard when it comes to this lesson for that worksheet. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, okay, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please don't hesitate. Click subscribe right now, and then click also the notifications bell so that you can be aware of upcoming lessons. And also like and share the videos, use those videos, okay, of the past things that we've done, and practice, everybody. Practice. Also, want to give some general shout outs to my friends all over the world who have been watching. My friends in Sri Lanka, Japan, China, India, the Philippines, UK, Australia, South America, North America, and everywhere else that I haven't mentioned. Thank you very much for watching and continuous support of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Okay, and that's all I have to say, everybody. Great job today, once again, and as always, I wish you all happy practicing, everybody. Take care. Have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.